I want to share a story with you, a story that I was reminded of just a few minutes before I went live. I lost my first husband, so a year and a half later, I took my eldest daughter and moved to Ireland. I got a job. So I was working there as representative, and 3 months after I moved to Ireland, we had organized a Christmas party. I'm not really sure whether it was a Christmas party or was it a culture night for our international students. So because I was working in the college, I was at the front. I was in a new country. A year and a half later, I was in a new country with my eldest daughter. She's now 25, and I felt out of place. I felt, if I can remember properly, I felt like I wasn't in my body anymore. I was doing life, I was living life, but deep inside I felt lost. I felt disconnected with me. Something was off. I didn't know it then. Only when I look back now, 16 years later, during the same time, I started having headaches, like regular headaches, deep pain, intense pain that I didn't used to have before. I was in a new country, my family wasn't here, everything was just so new, and I felt disconnected with myself. Now, on that night, there is a reason, I promise there's a reason why I'm sharing this story now, and the ending is beautiful. So I was invited to just dance. It was culture night or Christmas night, but the music was Mauritian, from my home country, Mauritius. And my body naturally just turned around and I started dancing. Now, I was a newish widow in our culture. We don't really dance or enjoy. It's like there's a shame around living life again or coming to fullness again. It's like because you've been a widow, there's a guilt, there's a shame. People are watching. You're not supposed to be enjoying life. You're not supposed to be coming full circle and to you again. It's like I felt this way. I don't know who said that to me. I'm not sure. I felt this way. Somewhere in my subconscious mind, I wasn't supposed to be wearing beautiful clothes. I wasn't supposed to be wearing bright clothes. Dancing. I wasn't supposed to just be happy. When this music came and I was dragged into the dance floor, I just started dancing because the music from home just reminded me of something, and I started dancing. What happened when I was dancing, when I started dancing, is I felt, it felt light. It felt I came back to my body. I felt it was healing. But what happened when I turned around and danced, because movement is part of our life. When I started studying nutritional science, I came across our nervous system and how important our nervous system is, and how our digestive system, our hormonal health, all of it is connected to this nervous system. So the fight and flight or the parasympathetic nervous system, if it's regulated, we are in the parasympathetic phase state where healing happens, where rest and digest happens. If we live in a state of fight and flight, then internally we are chaotic. Then the body is more prone to being ready to fight, being prepared to run. So one of the initial work that I do with my clients when I see them is working on regulating the nervous system. So movement for me on that day, when I shared the story on that day when this happened, when I moved, I physically moved the unresolved emotions and energy. Emotions is energy in motions. So something moved and shifted within me that felt like light. It felt like it's shifted, it's moved. So physical activity and movement is part of our well-being. We need it. There are many other methods to process unresolved emotion. For me, it was grief. All emotions are stored within our body physically. Your body is just going to keep releasing cortisol and adrenaline when you don't need to. There's a place when cortisol is needed. There's a place when adrenaline is needed. Hello.
And I just felt so emotional, just like we don't know each other's story. We just see the beautiful things. And then when you shared all that, I was like, we all have such beautiful, resilient stories that need to be shared.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the reason I shared this story is because I was just reminded about it it's like 16 years ago, but it just came to my conscious. So I said, okay, I think it's time for me, and it's going to resonate with the message you have to share today. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today and to have this conversation. And I know whoever's watching, just send me a wave or a heart. Let me know that you are here. Let me know why you are here and how you are here.
It's Maiyshla.
Maiyshla. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So what happened for you? Where did it all begin?
Yeah, actually, for me, it's like you said, it resonated when you said it has to be chaos first, where you don't even know what's happening. That's why I think it's good to share when you're on, it's not on the other side, it's still healing, is still happening, but at least to give hope to those who are in the chaos right now and don't know what's happening, because while I was there, it felt like a crumbling, like inner, nothing felt right, like no joy. Even if I was doing things that brought me joy before, I couldn't tap into joy and just felt numb. And at one point for me, I was doing everything to achieve my goals. So I was, like you said, living in the head, disconnected from the body, because we get this message like, the body is just there to move around. It's got nothing else. It's just all intellectual. And I was pushing to get my dream job. It was to become a lecturer. And that was like, I just put all my energy into making it happen. And yeah. And then 2021, I got my letter of appointment that I was appointed as lecturer. And when I read that letter, I didn't feel anything, because you're working or you're putting all this energy. You would think that would be the peak of joy that you can feel, but I couldn't feel anything. And I felt that was very odd, but everyone was congratulating me, and yeah, it was like it was happening. So I took up the job and moved on, like just thought maybe it will settle. I don't know. Now when I think back, like it was something to stop and see what was wrong, but at the time I didn't take it. And then after 1 year on the job, it just felt more and more like, when you say that gentle whisper, for me, it became like a scream,
Yeah.
because I was not listening. It, like my body was in so much pain. I had this shoulder pain that was not leaving me. And then all physical symptoms like migraines, and I went to several doctors, but at one point I was like, there's nothing, like everyone is saying the test came out good, your muscles are good, your bones are good. It's like, what's happening? I don't know. So, and at that point, I remember when I was very down, I didn't know what to do. And someone had shared a contact for an energy healer. But that was like, I didn't know what it was. So it was lost option for me. But I was in so much pain that I just remembered. And when I remember how I was on the bed, like suffering, and I think that I just give it to my intuition, that it just made me remember that contact, and just like that voicing, but just try it, you never know. So I contacted her and took an appointment and just went without knowing like what it was. And I think that was the point where it shifted things, because energy healing, it's like you infuse a dose of positive energy, a healing energy, and at least everything that was stuck starts moving. And then I started healing slowly. It's not just in one go, but at least I started feeling a bit lighter. That heaviness, like you were saying before, it went away, that big heavy feeling. And like I got more hope that maybe things can get better. And then slowly I found that I started, tapping into more joy into when doing things. And slowly I saw that many teachers came along the way to help understand this side of spirit, because all this time I was like, mind and body, that's good. Spirit level, I don't really know what it means, but I know, yeah, just like I've not tapped into it. But once I started understanding that your body also knows things and it sends you messages, and that's when you have to listen. And that's when, if you don't listen, it screams. And when I really experienced it for myself, then I knew that, yeah, it's really true, but it's just that we don't have information about this. And that's why sometimes we go to, with the pain and everything, we tend to feel like something is wrong, and we diagnose things. And because I think I was lucky in that sense, that I was not put a label that you suffer from this and that. I think I would have gone into another road of not self-healing, but more but this road felt more positive, and that's why now I set myself as a well-being coach to do exactly this work, like accompanying people and holding that space and making them trust their body, their emotions, because emotions also I'm still in this like whole discovery of how to work with our emotions and befriend them. But at the time it was, yeah, I did my job 1 year, and then I just felt that it was not my path, because that's where I felt that we all have a purpose. And for me, it's, yeah, your soul's purpose is your dharma, is why you are here on this earth. And many of us, we feel like we are quite lost. We don't know like what's our purpose. And that was when I felt that doing the lecturer job was not fulfilling me, but I had no next plan, but just felt that it's not feeling right.
So you were teaching, what were you teaching in the university? It was primary or secondary school?
In the university, yes.
Wow. You left the job in the university as a lecturer to do the wellness. Yes. Amazing. Yes. I'm so glad that you heard and you listened to this intuition. So how, if you look back now, how are you feeling now? I know health and wellness and discovering our own path is like ongoing. We learn every single day. How is, like, what's the difference between, no, not the difference. How are you feeling now? Are you feeling more grounded and this is giving me joy during this is my calling now?
Yes, this morning when I woke up, I was so grateful that I have energy, because I was so burnt out that my normal had become waking up exhausted, going to bed exhausted. It was just normal. And when I was complaining, people were saying, yeah, but that's like adult life. I thought, okay, is it like how everyone is living? There was something in me that was saying, no, I don't think that's life. But today, when I see that I have this joy in my heart and I have discovered that my gifts and accepted myself, and that brings all this life force energy back, that you can think that you lost, but you can get it back. And I'm still on the road. It's not like, but at least from where I was before, I feel that it's a long way that I have come to make the decision as well. It's so hard to make that decision when everyone else is against you. It's like no one sees that it's right what you are deciding, but when you tap into yourself, then you get the answer that no, it's that gentle whisper again that it's right, but don't overthink, don't along the way you'll get the answers. So I trusted that, and I just put in my resignation and said I will shift towards more psychology. At the time I was saying maybe I'll go back to university and study like a psychology master's course and try to become a psychologist, because I just knew vaguely that I want to help people feel better, something like that. But then that's where everything changed. Like the path that I wanted to take was still intellectual, and I think that would have even like brought me farther away, because then I saw in my email, in my inbox came like a dharma coaching course. So from the High Institute, yes, I know them. Yes. So when I saw everything that they were describing, like what the course is about, it helps you understand yourself, understand your gifts, and align your life, like and your career. Everything was speaking to me so loudly. But at that time, I was like, but I cannot afford this. But it's speaking to me so much. Maybe I should do this instead of the university course. I was still thinking, and then I saw they were taking some scholarships, and I thought, let me jump onto that and share my story and see if I can get a scholarship. And then I remember when I got in my inbox again that email that I got this scholarship, I was so emotional. I was crying, and this time I felt something, even just feeling something was good instead of that numb feeling. So that feeling of expansion, I got the scholarship, yes, and it was a 6-month certification to become a dharma coach, a soul purpose coach, spiritual life coach. So it was like all the teachings that you need to understand spirit and yourself, and not the usual like courses that I would have gone for. But that's why when I left that, and I was redirected, it feels like just redirected to do this, and it felt so right. That's amazing. Well, I didn't know this about, see how Spirit is always guiding us. How if you make a step forward, then the whole entire universe is here to support you in the path that you've always set to experience on this earth. This is such a beautiful story, Maiyshla. Gosh, Maiyshla, beautiful name.
this is like such a beautiful story, and you need to share this more often. So you took your pain, you were lost, you were doing life as everybody taught you to do this, and this is going to make you successful, rich, abundant, and all of it. We go to school, we learn this, and we follow the path that they have already set for us. There's no place where this is what I actually want to do, because it's drawn for you. This life path has been drawn for you by family, system, whoever. But you felt you were not really content when you read the letter, and then you dismissed this feeling. You went on, you did life, and you felt unhappy. One day on your bed, you heard the gentle whisper, and then you went for this energy healing. You gave your resignation letter, and today you are here teaching the path, the journey of healing that you went through. If you didn't go through this experience, you wouldn't be able to speak with so much compassion for others today if you didn't experience these emotional turbulences. So although we might think that we were on a different path, but even that different path that we don't think we were aligned gave us the experiences of who we are today to be able to serve the collective in a more loving, kinder, compassionate way. I am so impressed that you got this scholarship and you did it. So tell us a little bit of how you are helping others today. What are maybe one client that you've seen and their life change in a way, also maybe small or big, because healing is continuous. What happened? Yeah. If there's one person comes to mind right now.
Yes, usually it's that when the clients can share and they can really feel that you are not judging, you're just there holding that space for them to bring it all out, because everything, when it stays inside, that's when it's chaos and you can't see your own answers. But when you can move it out, but I also experienced that sometimes you can talk it out, but if it's not with the right person, you get more judgment and more questions in your head. Then it's a downward spiral. But the way that I support is through compassion and acceptance of our emotions. And I see how healing it is just for someone to say, it's okay to cry, it's okay to release your emotions. There's nothing wrong with that, because I think many of us got that message growing up, because I was also in that, like, suppressing everything, not allowed to feel sad, that's a bad thing. Anger, I think for women, it's like suppressing anger is a big thing. I feel for men is more sadness, crying more for them, and for women, suppression. But in any form, it's like suppression is where we are not going in the right direction. So expressing can be through talking to a coach or a therapist, but sometimes, like you were sharing, dancing works also for me. It's just moving in a way that your body wants to move, and the energy just shifts. Sometimes you don't need talking, you just want your body to move and shed that energy. And I also do coloring very often when I feel a bit off. I put on some music and start coloring and choose my colors, and I feel like everything comes on paper. But that's all these tools, that's what I teach. But I go according to the pace of the client, because I can't, like, I know all this, but it's not, it's like the clients, their pace, and they sometimes they have their own things that works for them, but to maybe during their childhood, what they loved, what brought them joy, and start having the conversation of more like, what were your strengths? Because for me as well, it was like all the things that I thought were my weaknesses is that I'm using in my business now to help people. And I'm like, how it's fascinating how all this time I thought, like, my empathy, even my voice, like, being soft. And I got this feedback that, no, for people who suffer from, like, anxiety, like, my voice can even calm them and just be a strength and not a weakness. Like, not everyone has to be loud, and it has to be a balance. But all the things that I was wanting to like repress, and was wanting to be strong, be as strong in this way that we often try to be. And that's where we lose our uniqueness, because that makes us who we are, and that makes us what we came here to do. And even our soul's purpose, I understood that it's not your career. You don't even have to align your job to, but the most important is you have to connect to yourself. And that's what I have, like, the honor of accompanying my clients to come back to themselves, because I can see how there's nothing more than this, because then when everything flows, when everything starts aligning, that's when it seems like you're not even trying, but things are working in your favor.
Yeah.
Even for us connecting, I just saw a video of your live chats, and I just thought that could be interesting having a live chat. And then in my inbox, you sent me, how about a live chat? It's like you're in Ireland, I'm in Mauritius. You picked up on that. Okay. That's great. That's
Yes.
when I think when the alignment
Yes.
happens, we can be in different countries, we can be in different parts of the world, but our experiences are similar, but often we don't speak about this. That's the thing that when I feel called to speak more about these things, because I think often we can have some kind of speeches and all, but even for me, like real stories have always inspired me.
Yes.
And I think that's how we can, like in those dark times, make people remember that there's a higher purpose, but for
Mm.
now, you cannot see it, but you can just like hang on there
Yeah.
and like try to find joy in some small things and tap a bit more inward, make some space to listen to what your body is telling you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. This story was so fascinating. I'm going to rewatch and re-listen to this replay. So if there's someone watching and listening us this morning or afternoon now, and they are a little shy reaching out at the moment, but maybe they will in the future, where would you suggest they start? Like they are at home within their home space, no one knows they are listening to you right now. What would you say? Where would you say that they can start connecting to their body and their intuitive guidance? How would they cultivate this?
Yeah, I think the main thing you can start is through the breath. I think many of us forget that if we can like learn to breathe and have those deep breaths and calm ourselves, that's the connection that we can feel, of just closing our eyes and just having one hand on our heart and feel our heart beating and feel that sense of like we are alive. Sometimes we think that we are like zombies or robots, but when you feel the heart beating,
Yeah,
you start remembering that like there's a
yeah,
pulse and all your dreams. You start remembering that there's no time to waste, and that everything that maybe you know that somewhere along there was those dreams that you have buried. But if you take the time to close your eyes and be with them, and they will tell you that they are still there for you to accomplish. But then that's the magic of it. When you start listening, you don't even have to know how you will accomplish it. What is just listening, the first step, and making like acknowledging that, oh, yes, I always wanted to be that. So let me make space for that. So I think that works as a start, just to hear your heart beating and connect back to your heart. And then you see that even if people that you follow, or you'll just know which person resonates, because I think that's also important when you contact a professional, that it's not just the knowledge that they have, but also the healing path that you are taking. There's so many different paths, but you have to feel safe, I think, with that person. That starts like for you feeling safe, and that's why it can become overwhelming, even the healing, like so many healing modalities. How, where do I start? But you start by tapping into your own heart of, is
yes,
this feeling right, like this professional, even
yeah,
if you have started and then along the way it starts feeling off again,
mm,
you can like stop with this one and move on to another one.
yeah,
I think this is very important for people to understand, because we are, at the end of the day, we are helping each other, but it
yeah,
doesn't have to be. Even myself, I have gone through several professionals. At one point they helped with one thing and then I moved on.
yeah,
And that's the beauty of it, is like you get so many different things.
mm,
But if, yeah, that's why if like the path of your soul's purpose resonate, then a dharma coach would be the way to align your life and feel that sense of well-being from that. But if it's like nutrition, so you would be the person that at least can help with starting to make the decisions
yeah,
of nutrition. But also nutrition is the way that nourishment also is, like you have to nourish your spirit, not just your body. And that was a big reveal for me, that yes, I
yeah,
was starved, like my spirit was starved. That's
so,
why, yeah, I did nothing to nourish. But now I'm incorporating things in my day to day. I've nourished my body. I have to nourish my spirit, my mind. I have to read. Like nourishment is all this mind, body, spirit. And yeah, sometimes we see how starved we are. Even like deep conversations really fill me up, but I never realized I had to understand myself. That's why it's like we go through life not even taking time to understand ourselves, and then we expect things from people too, because we don't even understand ourselves. Then we think that they have to make us happy. It's like at least we have to understand what we want, and then we can even give us that, and that's more empowering, I feel.
Yeah, I just remembered, you know, jelly. Like if we just throw jelly from high above and then it goes on the table or the ground, it's just there's a splash. It's like a splash and then it's scattered. When we come on earth, when we literally come out of the portal of the woman's womb, it's like a splash. I know I'm going graphic now, but it's like a splash, and then we are all over the place and we are handed over to arms, hands to hands, business, doing everything. So everything is just like externalized. I think we are in a time where it's time to gather, bring it internally, just create this awareness, like who am I from inside? Like I know growing up, I adapt to other people's energy, how to please them, how to keep them happy, how to comfort them, how to be quiet so they get a platform to speak. So it's like a push and pull naturally that happens when we're doing life on earth. It's the way it is, but I think it's a beautiful time that we're living now, that we're gathering ourselves again and bringing us home. Where am I going to expand my energy? How am I going to expand this energy? My inner child, there's so many videos and books about it, but like when you look at yourself, how old do you see yourself? And that inner child who's needing a tight, warm hug, just the way the person is, just the way this inner child is. Runny nose, dirty feet, unbrushed hair, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're clean and shining and glowing, beautiful. If you're not, it's okay. I'm going to still hug you and I'm still going to love you. And I see you when you connect to the heart. It is that inner child that you're connecting to when you're breathing at your heart space. It is this child who you are seeing. Maybe she was 9, maybe she was 12, maybe she was 4. It is that person deep within, uncompromised, unaltered, virgin pure, is the version that you're connecting to. And it is time to bring this version of you who is loud, and it's okay to be loud, who is so nurturing, and it is okay to be nurturing, who is so animated at times, and it's okay to be animated. All of you, the way you are, not because mommy or daddy said to be quiet, I am reading my newspaper, whatever. It's not this version of the quiet self. It's you, the one who speaks, and you've got something to say. And it is time for you to speak. It is time for you to come to a place where you can realize, I don't need other people to be telling me I need help. Of course I need help. I can't be on my own, and I'm going to seek help. But I'm not going to seek help just because someone else says so. It is because I think I need help to get me somewhere. And the coach, the therapist that you hire should bring you from one place to another, the place that you want to go, the one that your innate guidance has asked you to go. That person allows you to go there, not tell you to go there. That coach, that therapist is a support for you to reach your aim, your intention. And 15, 16 years ago, when I moved to Ireland, I didn't even know there was anything, any work like you're doing today. In Mauritius, I didn't know there was anything like this. Purpose coach. What the hell? Nutritional therapist? Who? No, I didn't know anything like this. To know that we can even be okay embracing the feminine side of us. Be the go-getter. Always. Don't be the woman. It's not okay to be the woman. What? Feminine? No. Wear this, wear that, do your hair, do this. My gosh. Peel all the layers and come back home to you. And I'm so happy that I connected with you. I know via social media, but I connected with you, and I don't know if there's any. But now we can work online. I was going to say if there's any Mauritian watching from my side. I know there is from your side. But you can do work online now, which is so allowing. So if anyone is looking to find help in their purpose, their calling, what the hell am I doing on earth? Why am I here? Just to navigate through these questions, connect with this beautiful lady we have here, just see how you can support each other. Because as a coach, we learn from our clients as well every day, every time a new person comes, we learn from them. How can we be more available and supportive? And thank you so much for taking the time, my dear. I wish you all the very best. I wish you all the very best, and I hope you go far and beyond.
Thank you. And I think it's special that it's during Navratri, the 9 nights of the goddess, that we connected. Because yeah, there are many women out there who I think are feeling this chaos. And I feel that's the true work of like the goddess speaking to you through the pain. Even if you are in pain, it's good in a way. It means that there's something calling. And yeah, during this devotional period as well is a good time to go inwards and truly accept all emotions, all the dark. You have to accept the dark to bring out the light.
Yes.
There's no other way. You can't just focus on the light, because that's
Yes.
most of the time that's what I was doing, like positivity, but in a way it becomes toxic when you don't acknowledge that there is suffering as well, and accepting all that. And yeah, I think that's healing. But yeah, we have to know that everyone is going through it. It's not only you are not alone, but we are not talking about it, but maybe we should be talking more and sharing more, and that's even healing. But yeah, even this conversation for me has been great. So one conversation, I think, can make a difference. Yeah, I would encourage people to reach out for help, because help is out there, but sometimes, yeah, the reaching out is hard, because I know I held on till last minute to reach out, but it's how you can help yourself is don't try to figure it all out on your own, because that will do more like harm to you. But just contact and reach out for help, and then you can move on to feeling better. Then you can like figure out along the way. But thank you, Mira, for setting this platform, for having these conversations.
You're very welcome. It's my honor. It's my pleasure. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying. I can be very shy and quiet and not speak. Like in a big crowd, I probably will be the last person to speak until I'm given a place to speak. Then I can't stop. So so it's been amazing. Hello, Neha. Neha is in Mauritius, and she's been a friend online. Hey, Shevalisha. Yeah. So all of these beautiful women, I think they would be very happy hearing us speak now. So end this with, you ask me a question unplanned, and I'll ask you a question. I haven't thought of it. So, and then we'll say goodbye until next time. So you ask me a question and I'll ask you a question. Unplanned. Anything. No right or wrong.
I'm a bit blank right now.
Okay.
So you go first or I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. So what has been your biggest learning in your healing journey?
That I am good enough, and I've always been good enough.
I think I needed to hear that. That's a big one. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It never mattered. I'm glad to be experiencing whatever I experience. And when I look back, like I write a gratitude journal every single morning. Well, not every single morning. That's not quite true. But most days, 6 days, maybe a week, I do. Some days I write about what happened during the week. Some days I write about what happened 20 years. And sometimes I write about, I'm 44 now, so I write about what happened in the 44 years. So when I look back, I couldn't be here. I couldn't be speaking to you even if I didn't go through those challenges. But if what has taught, what I've learned through those 44 years, it's like, my goodness, I have always been good enough. I mean it. I truly mean it. I've always been like this. I've always been this good enough. And whatever that means to anyone hearing, not allowing you in the things that you're doing, perhaps is not contributing to you or others. I don't mean in that way, but I've always been good enough, and I am good enough today.
That's true. And we often want to hear it from others, but we just have to give it to ourselves and tell it to ourselves every day until we feel it. It's like it's there, but we just have to give us permissions to be ourselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So my turn now. I haven't thought of it, so I'm going to. Okay, so what's your intention for, or maybe the moment of now, a year later, a year now? Where do you see yourself, or your work, or everything? Because you are your work, and your work is you.
Yeah. A year later, I think I would.
No, in the present moment, I am. You are a year later, but in the now.
Okay. So I am living my purpose fully, sharing my light and guidance to whoever gets attracted and wants to be on this path. And I'm learning from everyone and living life fully and taking care of myself and being my best self and having energy to give out, having energy to nourish myself and enough overflow to give out without feeling drained, and just like lighting candles and everyone goes on to light up others' lives, because that's the whole point of my coaching practice. That's why it's called Sunshine Spell, because it's the point is to bring more light. And yeah, that feeling of expansion is what I feel, that the heart is like expanding more, and there's that feeling that I see myself having, like just not believing that life can be so full and so, yeah, feeling fulfilled in a way that feel every emotion and still be okay with, just be okay with feeling at least, because being numb, I went there, it was not cool. So now we get to feel everything, and that's living a full life. Yeah, I think at the end, we won't have any regrets at the end of this.
Yeah, be able to and have the capacity to feel everything, all the emotions. Yeah, beautiful. I've written this down now. I'm going to use this. Feel all the emotions and be okay. So that's amazing. I got to go now. Thank you so much. I hope we do this more often, and planning to be home in December. We can meet up there. No, you can. Thank you so much for talking to me today. I am really, really honored that you took the time to talk to me and share your story with us. It's beautiful, and share more, talk more. I want to see you all over your social media talking about your story. And you got it. You got this beautiful radiance about you, this authenticity. You know, like just you. It's just you. You're unique. It's just you. You're not copying anyone. It's just you. And this is what we need a bit more in this world of.
I have been braving this fear of like speaking and being seen, but that's part of my healing as well.
Again, and thank you so much for everyone watching, and your hearts. I've received them all. And if you have your family members, friends, girlfriends, mother-in-law, father-in-law, share this video with them, and young people as well. They need to know about this service, this work that my beautiful friend is doing. Share this video with your community, and I'll see you sometime soon. Thank you.
Thank you.